You're listening to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast with Wendy Johnson, episode number 59.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast, where women come to be inspired and motivated to become the best version of themselves and elevate the quality of their everyday. Now, here's your host, certified life coach, Wendy Johnson.
Hello, beautiful friends. How are you doing today? I am excited to be with you, and today we're diving into a topic that affects all of us, decision making. Many of us struggle daily with making decisions, even small ones like what to order from the menu or what movie to watch in the evening. Whether it's choosing a career path, making financial investments, or choosing to enter or leave a relationship, making decisions is a fundamental part of our lives. The truth is, you were born to be an effective decision maker, but you may have been conditioned to look outside of yourself for answers rather than within. Making decisions takes practice. How can we make better decisions? Stick around and we'll explore some practical tips and habits that can help you improve your decision skills. First, understanding the importance of good decision making. Why is good decision making so important? Our decisions shape our future, influence our happiness, and impact those around us. Making informed and thoughtful choices can lead to better outcomes and a more fulfilling life. Isn't that what we all want? To make good decisions today that will affect us in the future? Here are some tips to help you get started to improve your decision-making process. First, you want to define your objectives. Before making any decision, it's crucial to know what you want to achieve. What do you have in your vision? This will give you direction and make it easier to evaluate your options. What do you want the desired outcome to be? What are your priorities? And most importantly, are they in line with your values? When you're making a decision between two jobs and moving your family across the country, you need to take your time to define what's important to you and your family. And when you have your objectives defined, it helps you narrow down your choices and you're able to focus on what truly matters. I want to clarify that this is for making big decisions. Making small, simple decisions that you do every day, like getting dressed, when to exercise, when to sleep, what to eat. Those are not the decisions that I'm talking about until later on in the show. When you're making a big decision, you want to gather all the information and take time to collect all relevant data about your options. This might involve researching facts, seeking expert advice, and reviewing past experiences. The more informed you are, the more confident you'll be in your choice that you make. I love this quote from Theodore Roosevelt. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Another key tip is to consider multiple alternatives. Don't settle for the first solution that comes to mind. Brainstorm a range of all your options to ensure that you're not missing out on the best option. This helps you to broaden your perspective and often reveals innovative solutions to the best decision you can make. And once you have all your options, I recommend weighing the pros and cons. Make a list, get everything out of your head and onto paper. Doing so will give you the benefits and the drawbacks of the choices. And when you do this, you want to list what you might be moving towards and what you might be moving away from. What are you going to give up? Are you willing to give those things up and let them go? What you're doing is analyzing the advantages and disadvantages to visualize the impact that this will have on your future self. You can look at short-term and long-term consequences. Also, you can look to see if they're in alignment with your goals. And will there be potential challenges that you have to face? Looking at all of these options helps you in objectively comparing and identifying the best possible choice. Now I want to talk about habits for better decision making. Habits can improve your decision making over time. One crucial habit is practicing mindfulness. Being present and aware of your thoughts and feelings reduces stress and improves focus. This will help you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. There are two things that I highly recommend you do. The first one is to eliminate chronic stressors. To make an informed decision, it requires your prefrontal cortex. This is where you use logic and reasoning. And if you're in a fight or flight, feeling overwhelmed and stressed, you are not going to make the best decisions. Another key thing to look at is to be mindful of your emotions. Realize that the emotions you're thinking are pulling you in a certain direction. You want to learn how to regulate the emotion by noticing what you're feeling and naming it. When you do this, you create a new context for the situation. Let's say a driver cuts you off in traffic. You have the emotion of anger. You are not going to make an informed decision based on that feeling. You may ultimately tailgate the person. You may honk at the person, yell at the person. You may follow them to aggravate them. It's not a good idea to make a decision if you're having negative emotions. Remember that. The key is to understand how emotions affect our decision making. Express your emotions by getting them out on paper, by journaling. You want to have a different set of emotions to fuel the decision. And you want to think of decisions as opportunities. The decisions you make, are they improving your life or taking away from your life? Ask yourself, what decision can I make to make my life more interesting, more extraordinary? If the decision you're making in your life is not a positive one, then you want to reevaluate the emotions that you are currently having and the thoughts you're thinking. The decision is helping you to zero in on what you truly want. Another important habit is to stay informed. Develop a habit of continuous learning. Read books, follow news, engage in professional development. Being well-informed broadens your perspective and provides a solid foundation for your choices. Regular reflection is also essential. Take time to review your day and assess the decisions you made. If you're having a difficult time making decisions, it's maybe a good idea to have a decision notebook, writing down all the decisions you are making. Consider what went well and what could be improved. You could spend a month on your decision-making skills. When you're keeping a decision journal, you're tracking your choices and their outcomes, encouraging continuous growth. It's like a muscle that you're getting stronger. And to make the right decision, you have to know where you're going. What is your destination? And to do that, you have to have clear goals. Write down your short-term goals and long-term goals. Break them into actionable steps and review them regularly. Clear goals guide your decision-making process and make it easier to evaluate your options. And for big life decisions, you may need to take a few days to think. We're emotional beings and tend to make hasty decisions in the moment when we're fueled by negative emotions. If you have made a decision and you haven't thought through the benefits and consequences of the scenario, then you're using your primitive brain. You want to take 2 days to decide to use level reasoning with your head and your heart. And for a major decision, such as moving across the country, ending a relationship, or changing a career, you may want to take 7 to 10 days. And that is to be able to go through defining your objectives and gathering comprehensive information. And before I move on, I want you to be aware that there is a tendency, if you do not have a strong decision-making muscle, is to notice when you're procrastinating. This is analysis paralysis. When you are overthinking and overanalyzing the possible outcomes of a decision and no decision is made. When making a choice, you don't want to drag your feet too long. We tend to overthink and see options with worry, limiting beliefs, other fears, and the opinions of others. We allow ourselves the comfort of staying where we are and not turning to making big, bold moves and decisions that will improve our life. If you ever feel like you're getting bogged down by decisions, most likely it's those small decisions and you're dwelling on those small decisions. You don't want to expend too much time and energy on small choices. You don't want to stress about the quality of your decision making. There is no wrong decision with small decisions. You can't second guess yourself and then berate yourself for changing your mind. Look at your day-to-day and where you're struggling to make these small decisions. Are you having a hard time deciding what to eat for lunch? Are you having a hard time deciding what to wear for the day? Are you having a difficult time when you go out to eat and not knowing what to order? Are you going grocery shopping and you can't choose because there's so many items to choose from? In these instances, I recommend you making quick decisions and not second guessing yourself. If you've ordered beef at a restaurant and you told yourself you weren't going to eat beef this month, don't beat yourself up. Don't second guess yourself. If you go to an event and you're in casual clothes and you see everybody is dressed up, no big deal. Notice how you're making these decisions and what you're making them mean about you. Notice what you're thinking. Are you always thinking that was silly? Why did I do this? Why didn't you talk me out of ordering the beef? Why didn't you tell me that I was supposed to come all dressed up and formal? You're either blaming yourself or blaming others. So eliminate that tendency to not dwell on your small choices. This will free up space in your brain to focus on what's truly important in your life. And those are the big decisions that are going to move the needle and grow you. Another helpful tip is to pre-commit to a plan. Decide ahead of time. Make a decision before you're actually in the scenario so you're not swayed by outside forces. Let me give you an example. You go to the grocery store and you start throwing things in the cart because you're hungry and they look good to you. But if you pre-commit to a plan, you go to the grocery store with a list, you stick to the list and you buy what's on the list. Another example would be how much money you're spending for the weekend. You know you have plans to go out with friends one night and you want to go to a movie another day and you want to go to breakfast with your family. You need to pre-decide how much money you're going to spend for the weekend. Makes it so much easier to make the decisions when you're in the moment. And for more advanced strategies, consider using other decision-making tools. There's other techniques. There's cost-benefit analysis. There's decision matrices. They all provide structured approaches to analyze complex decisions, and you will be given informed choices. Also, I invite you to seek diverse perspectives. But don't look outside of yourself for the decision. All you're doing is information gathering. You're consulting with trusted friends, family, or colleagues to gain different viewpoints. You're actively listening to others that may uncover blind spots and enhance the quality of the decisions that you're going to make. And last, don't forget to trust your instincts. Your intuition or your gut feelings can offer valuable insights, especially when making decisions aligned with your core values, experiences, and the goals that you're seeking. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine you're deciding between two job offers. One offers a higher salary, but the other aligns more with your career goals and values. After you've defined your objectives, gathered information, sought out different perspectives from others, you've weighed the pros and cons, and you've considered all the alternatives, then you can make a more informed decision. And to conclude today's episode, improving your decision skills is a continuous journey. There is no end to it. It's not easy to make decisions. By adopting these tips and habits that I've discussed with you today, you can navigate your choices with greater confidence and clarity. And remember, decision making is not perfect. You're practicing, you're messing up, you're failing, but you're being more aware of making thoughtful and effective decisions. You're more aware of the emotions that you're feeling before you make the decisions. And I want to end with this quote from Amelia Earhart. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is mere tenacity. The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act to change and control your life. And the procedure, the process, is its own reward. Decide today to make decisions a non-negotiable. Thanks for tuning into this episode, friends. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with anyone who might benefit. Until next time, keep making thoughtful decisions and take care. Bye for now. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out More You, my community of like-minded women. We show up to create the highest version of ourselves and elevate the quality of our everyday along the way. Head over to ontracklifecoaching.com/join. That's ontraclifecoaching.com/join. I'd love to see you in there. And if you haven't grabbed your copy of the Mindset Makeover, head over to ontraclifecoaching.com/makeover and get a copy that teaches and inspires you to show up as your most extraordinary self.